So yes, tonight we're gonna have a lecture. It is gonna be a shorter one so we can keep up the attention. It's gonna be half an hour, and then we have 10 minutes of question and answering afterwards. And I hope I can inspire you and give you some courage to actually ask some questions. Yeah. So what is our topic tonight? It is integrating spirituality into daily life, and not the other way around. A lot of times it's, oh no, it is the other way around. How to integrate daily life into spirituality. So I myself did the mistake of doing it the other way around, because we usually feel like we've gained something, we've learned something maybe about yoga or other topics, and then we try to put it into our life, but actually it should be the other way around. Really forming our life around what we discovered and what we long for in our heart or in our life, in our soul. So first of all, I want to say that I want to do this a little bit more interactive. So it is, especially now in these times, we tend to consume a lot online, and it is very easy to just listen and not be engaged yourself and feel and ask yourself. So I want to invite you to that tonight to actually also go with me through this topic and ask yourself these questions and look deep inside. And also, if you hear the recording, I very much invite you to do the same. Yeah, so first of all, before the beginning, I would love to take a short moment of just coming and arriving and taking a moment of stillness and resting in the heart. So I invite you all to find a comfortable seated position, which you probably already have, and have the spine straight and close your eyes. And just arriving in full presence. Let's take a deep breath together into the belly, deep and long. And breathe out. Let's take 2 more in your rhythm. And then the next breath, let's take it into the heart, in the middle of the chest. Whatever our connection with this place is, we all know where it sits. And try to feel how we can breathe into this space and widen it and open it. Put the attention, the focus in this area. There is something that loves you so much, that forgives you, that trusts you, that always points you into the right direction. And that is your heart. We can slowly open our eyes again, looking out into this world from the heart. And maybe we feel a little bit different, maybe not, but if we do, we really try to cherish this difference of how it feels to be fully present in a moment, to be connected to the breath and to be connected, most importantly, to the heart. And I think we have quite a mixed group watching, and I also know that friends of mine are watching we all come from different areas in life, and also for the people who are watching the recordings, I would really like to make this lecture very open to all kind of different experiences, because some of us are very deep maybe into the spiritual path, let's say, or into the dedication on yoga and meditation or other spiritual practices, and other people are just curious, what is Hannah doing, or have meditated a little bit, or doing some yoga. So I want to take all of us in the boat, and I think it's beautiful also for maybe people of us who are longer in this to ask again also more simple questions again. So first of all, when I was preparing this lecture, I was actually contemplating about what is spirituality actually. I mean, we all use this word, and for some of us it means something very dear. For some of us it is maybe triggering. It is maybe repulsive or controversial. It creates a contraction, whatever it is. I would really love to invite you in this very moment to drop everything that you think that other people think of spirituality, or what is the definition of it, and really come back to yourself. And for this, once again, I want to invite you to close your eyes and drop again into the same place of the heart. This full presence, peaceful. And in this space, what does spirituality mean for me? Really ask your question into the very depth of your heart, leaving behind all judgments and conditioning. And then we can ask ourselves, what is daily life? What is the difference of daily life to life? What is life? And then I invite you to become aware of how your daily life looks right now, even if it might be not the same every day, but just in an average. Put an awareness, a focus on how I live my life right now from day to day. And then from there, is there anything that you would like to change? Is there a daily life that you actually long for? How would your ideal day look like that you would love to repeat again and again? So becoming aware of all of this, remembering it, reminding yourself of it, we will open our eyes again. So I hope some of you could find some answers to this question, or have some idea what it means for us. And I would like myself to go into what is spirituality. Spirituality, I think, how wide and ever personal it is, I always come back to this question of, why are we here? What is the sense of life? What is the meaning of life? Why am I living? Why am I here right now, in this very body, in this very moment? And I think that is spirituality. And that is something that everybody of us has inside of them. No matter if we call us spiritual or not, if we say we're on this path or not, or if we have actually a lot of prejudices against this and we think of all of them, they are lunatics. But I believe that everybody sometimes asks themselves, why am I here? What kind of life do I lead? What kind of life do I want? And Sahaja said, the leader of Hridaya Yoga, he said, there's no answer to the question of the meaning of life by the mind. There can only be an answer from the heart. And this again points us back to the importance of the heart as something beyond an organ. And the importance in no matter where we come from, I think we should always ask ourselves again and again this question, whatever we do, and scanning ourselves and our lives, if it is actually coherent what I do. And this is now where we come to integrating daily life into spirituality, or if you prefer the other way around, but really pointing towards integrating the daily life, my life, into my values, into this search for a meaning, this heart, this something that is beyond just maybe working, and maybe something that just nourishes the body but not nourishing the soul. And so it is so important to really look at the difference of lifestyle. Do I live a lifestyle, a life that is coherent with what I long for in my practice, what I'm practicing, what I'm maybe speaking even about, what I want? Is this happening? And on the other hand, am I just living a life and maybe sometimes more or less regular practicing whatever spiritual practice, if it's meditation, yoga, or Tai Chi, Qigong, or whatever it might be. And this is the important thing, the difference of this. Because why are we practicing these things? Yoga and meditation, or spiritual practices. Whoever of us is doing it, and even if in the beginning, for many of us, it's just maybe for the physical body, it's because we want to relax, because we feel stressed, but why do we not just go to the sauna? Why do we not just take a massage? And yoga is more than fitness, and spiritual practice are more than just the physical body, and I think most of us get a glimpse of this, and this is why we come back to it. And there is a longing in this practice that we feel for something very personal, for something also at the same time very universal. Let's call it all these different values that even non-spiritual people, or call themselves non-spiritual people, have, which I think we can all agree on. Peace, calmness, non-violence, simplicity maybe, just love, connection, harmony, sustainability, harmony, and looking after this planet, after people around us. So let's ask ourselves, are we living a life that is in every part of it addressed by these values, by this longing, by this quest? And for us who are maybe really into spirituality, is there no black spot in my life that is really come fully addressed by my search for truth, for why am I here, for always being in the heart, for living in this place of of loving everything around me, being open to everything. I'm just gonna switch on the light. Switching on the light, maybe also beautiful image for switching on this light in ourselves, in our mind, in our heart, putting light onto these black spots. And even for wherever we are on this path in our life, I really invite you to again and again ask yourself, look at your life. Is there coherence? And where do I want to bring more coherence? Where do I feel like a disharmony? Where do I want to actually feel I cannot live like this? This is not what I want to live. This is not a life that that my heart resonates with. It's not open all the time. Sometimes it's closed, it's contracted. And when you feel this, I really invite you to have the courage and the trust to change something about this. And by change, I don't say that changes have to be fast. They can be very slow. And I think this is actually something very beautiful, to allow ourselves to live our life in long-term views. Because so often people say, I cannot do this because right now it doesn't work, or right now it will take 5 more years till I do this new apprenticeship or this new studies, and then I will have less money and all these things. But in a few years, then maybe your life will look completely different. And is it not worth it to have 40, 50, 60 more years, 70 maybe, living your truth and living with a full open heart, living with enthusiasm every day for this life? Maybe going through a little bit more simple or maybe a little bit more volatile life for a time. And I think this is so important to always ask ourselves, what's the life that I want? What is the life that fits to my worldview? And for this, it is so helpful to just have this constant practice of your spiritual practice, whatever it might be, and maybe even extend this. If you're doing yoga, yoga is so much more than just doing asanas, like also really meditation, having this as a core inside of your practice. And again, we can just cultivate and repeat again and again this trust in the heart, to more and more hear this voice that is always fighting against the voice of the mind, because we're so used to just living from the mind. And it's not easy. For myself, I can speak so often, the mind fights again against the heart. And I know somehow there's this voice of the heart, but the mind is so loud, and I'm like, what do I want? So for everybody of us, it's so important to again and again have this consistency of practice, to build this trust, to have this heart growing so much that the voice is so loud that we can never stop listening to this voice anymore, because it's just everywhere, because our mind actually follows the heart. Our mind flows with the heart, with the heartbeat, all the time. Wouldn't that be beautiful, to have this clarity in your life constantly? To live in coherence and in harmony with yourself and with what you stand for and with what you want to give to this life, to this world, to people, and with how you live. And just for this, I can invite you to really again and again check your practice, and also taking this practice of the mat, taking this practice into everything, not just resting in the heart in meditation, but also in every moment that you remember, not just asking yourself, who am I or where am I in meditation or in yoga, but actually again and again remembering to ask this and feeling how it changes every situation. feeling how it changes how I feel, perceive, and act in life. And this will bring self-love, because most of our problems are just based on a lack of self-love, because we never got taught to love ourselves. The opposite, most of us, we got actually, our society teaches us to not love ourselves, because it's so much easier to just have people that are not liking themselves or not loving themselves, because in this insecurity, in this fear, we feel separated from each other. And then it's easy to just implement whatever system is most comfortable. So self-love just brings forth from again and again repeating this, resting in the heart, this coming to the heart. Because you can look in the mirror and say, oh, I love my butt and I love this body, but we stay outside. We have to come inside. The love for this self, for this core, for this very essence, for this love, for this heart. If we repeat this again and again, this will build a self-love. And with this love for the self, for yourself, will grow this love for everything. And in this love, we just want to, we cannot do something incoherent in our life, because it hurts in the heart. The heart will become so alive, the teacher in every moment. And the stillness, just inviting again and again stillness into our lives. These moments of taking a break. And it's so easy to get in whichever way of area or however we live, to go into this busyness all the time. And it's so important to just allow us in our daily life to again and again have these pauses. If it is in meditation, if it is in our yoga practice, if it is just taking a break and contemplating nature, allowing us to be, even if other people look at you like you're crazy. Take a moment and just contemplate whatever's around you and contemplate yourself. And this always brings such a clarity and just such a reconnection of feeling the heart again, of feeling myself again, becoming aware what is actually happening inside of me. So whenever we feel we lose it all, we are overwhelmed, or just because we're so happy in this beauty of life, I invite you to just come back again and again to stillness, to short moments of stillness. Or even feeling the stillness while you're acting, while you're moving, while you're busy. Feeling that there is something, a deep peace inside of you. And then of course also being aware, mindful with what am I surrounding myself with? With what kind of people am I surrounding myself? Am I surrounding myself with like-minded people, with people that are maybe having the same questions, are maybe supporting myself and having also these values and maybe a lifestyle that is more similar to mine, so we can support ourselves with increasing and growing in this? Or am I actually surrounding myself with people where I feel I'm seen as weird, and I stop doing my things, or I'm insecure, or I am doubting my path, my view, my vision? Am I surrounding myself with what kind of music, with what kind of books, with what things? All of this has such a big influence on our path, on if we can stick with the heart, if we can remember again and again the heart, the love, my values, whatever it is. If your value is just peace for this world, or just protecting this earth against the elimination and all of what is happening right now, whatever it is, this can grow so much more if you share this with more people, if you read books in this direction, if you listen music that opens your heart, that brings peace and all of it. So this is what I wanted to share. And now I want you to ask yourself and go into this quest, into your heart, into this quest that can only be answered by the heart. What kind of life do I want to live? And if this is still very abstract, because maybe we never allowed ourselves to envision our life, to really allow ourselves, despite all these fears and how I need to live my life and what my parents expect from me and what society expects from me and what I expect from me, to allow ourselves to really drop into this feeling when the heart is enthusiastic and vibrating, when you get goosebumps by just feeling like, wow, this life, imagine I could live this life. How would life be? How would I feel? How would I make people around me feel? Because I would just be vibrating in happiness and love. Obviously not constantly, because we're all into this change of emotions, and this is life also. But maybe with a deep contentment behind whatever happens. Because I'm following my heart. And when you follow your heart, I believe truly that when you live your life that gives you happiness, and you live a life that is not, it's not about the status that gives you happiness or ego or this false happiness, but something deeper. This voice of the heart that sometimes doesn't make sense, because you're like, why do I want to do this? I don't even understand. You cannot understand it with the mind, because your heart knows your talents, what you're supposed to do in this world, how you can give back the most to this world. Your heart knows this, your mind. It's more difficult. So I invite you now to close your eyes again. Come in a comfortable seated position and connecting to the heart. Feeling the heart beating, or whatever you feel right now. Love and concern for all are not things some of us are born with and others are not. Rather, they are results of what we do with our minds. We can choose to transform our minds so that they embody love, or we can allow them to develop habits and false concepts of separation. So really allow yourself to let the mind drop into the heart. If you cannot feel it, just visualize it. Put all your attention into the heart. Breathe deeply into the belly and up into the heart. And out. Again and again. And from this place, ask yourself truly, free from any conditioning of fear, the ego, the status. What kind of life do I want to live? Which life would be coherent with my truest longing, with my heart? What makes me feel enthusiastic, passionate? Which things inspire me in life? Allow yourself to visualize, however broad or detailed you want. Where would you live? With whom would you be? What would you do? How would you feel? And then, are there any steps, anything that you could do to reach this life right now? Not in this very moment, but from now on. Tomorrow, the next week, the next month, the next years. Become very efficient and clear. What steps need to be taken? Make them very doable. Doable ones and very vague ones. Realistic and maybe, in your opinion, unrealistic, but allow it. And then, at the very last, ask yourself, what is keeping me away from doing these steps? Why can I not do them? Are they real? Are these hindrances real? Is it really keeping you away from taking those steps to this life that your heart really wants, that this world needs to heal? Because if we all live our lives from the heart, in happiness and love, we wouldn't be able to harm anything or anybody. The change has to happen from inside out. And you're the very person who can do it. Treasure this life that you just envisioned in your heart. Breathing deeply into the heart and out. And slowly open your eyes. Arriving back. Being present for whatever you feel right now. If it worked for you, maybe you felt very contained by something, maybe you were not able to envision your life that you want, whatever it was. Maybe you feel very enthusiastic right now. Whatever it is, just accept it the way it is. Love it, embrace it from the heart. But not stop asking yourself and going inside and repeating this again and again, because at some point you will know. And at some point you will trust your heart to do the steps. To integrate daily life into spirituality or into your values, into your quest for life. Namaste. I would very much love if you have some questions. We are a little bit over time. This is my tendency. So whoever needs to leave obviously can leave. But yes, I would love to know if you have any questions. You can just write them in the chat and I can read them out and answer them. Or also I would, if you don't have a question, I would also very much love to hear what arose from you, like for you in all the questions that I asked you. And maybe you want to share your visions or whatever arose for you in this very moment. I would love to hear how it was. So I'm seeing. Okay. I don't know. I want to do it. Maybe I'm just doing it anonymous. Maybe it's okay for people, but who knows? I saw you're a dancer and I wonder how to let go the idea I'm the doer that is really present in art and creativity. I do theater and it's hard for me to make a shift on perspective because all I approached it in a personality-centered way. Thank you for this question. Very good one. It's true. Being a performer, it is very, very difficult to find this truth in why you want to perform and why you have this deep longing to do this, because we often think, yeah, it's just the ego wanting to present itself. We just want to have fame. We want people to watch us. And I was asking myself this a long time as well, and also how to use things like social media and all these things in a conscious way that is supporting this in a very pure way. And I'm still asking myself sometimes, like, why do I love dance so much? But then at the very time, like I said, you cannot understand this from the mind. It comes from the heart, and there's so much beauty in art, in giving people art, in just sharing this. And I think very deeply, of course, maybe there is also an egotic, still a longing to perform and present yourself. But if you drop this more and more and you drop into the heart, there is for sure also this love of just sharing what you're love so much, what makes you shine, what makes you vibrate, what makes you your talent with this world. And all of us, maybe, I mean, some people, we are maybe not interested in art, which is also fine, or in dance, but to see a dancer perform or more, or to dance with people, or to theater, it can touch you in such a deep way. It can blow your mind. It can ask questions. It can bring so many things to this world, to people. There's so amazing theater also that you can do spiritual theater, you can do political theater, art is so important to ask people questions, to make them alive, to wake them up in whatever way, or connect them back to their heart. And dance, it's so much of just dropping the mind, coming back into the body, celebrating life. And healing. You can heal so many things. So I think there's so many things. Dance is something so sacred and so theater. Going into roles and art in general. It is something so immanent in ourself, in human beings. We've done this as long as we exist. So I think it is something very, very natural and inherent in our being. I hope I could answer your question a little bit. Sonia, no, I said the name. I hope it's okay. I love to dance. This was my dream. Why? Because I felt the dance. It brings me ecstasy. Dance and spinning expressions. It's a very spiritual sensation to be free. So much. Yeah, I agree a lot. For me, it is sometimes even faster than any other spiritual practice to open my heart and to feel so connected to myself and everything around me and everybody, and to just feel this pure ecstasy, this being alive and loving life and just knowing this is why I live. If I can feel this way, life makes sense. Why should I not do this if it brings this to me? And if I can kind of give this to other people, this is so beautiful. So thank you so much for this. And yeah, thank you for all your messages. I'm so happy that if I could touch something in you, or if you liked it, and I'm very grateful that you took the time to look at this, either live or later in the recordings. And if there are any more questions, or if anybody else wants to share their journey tonight, a vision that they have, sometimes it can be so inspiring for people to hear other people's visions, to see how far you can dream, or to just feel that you're able to dream and live the dream. So I'm not getting any more comments or questions. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and I hope you have a beautiful rest. I'm getting another question. I knew Kalyan Yoga is giving me a question. When you experience a challenge in daily life, do you find it easy to center in the heart? Thank you so much for this question. This is a good one. Yes, do I find it easy? Of course, it's not easy, but it also depends very much on the challenge, I would say. Recently, some of you know maybe, that I broke my shoulder 3 months ago, and I had to go back to Germany and move back in with my mom. And yes, as I am a mover, I'm a dancer, it was a pretty big shock for me, and you can still see this beautiful scar. And it has taught me so much of this integration process, of how important it is to come back to the heart and how much it helps in daily life. And there were times where it was somehow easy, and somehow I feel when there's more calmness. So just being alone, and even if you suffer or in pain, being able to come back to the heart can work. But also sometimes it can be so hard when we're with other people engaged, like feeling like examples being with my mom and being triggered, because it's so easy to get triggered by your loved ones. And then I can feel something is happening. I'm reactive. I'm saying something, and then, but now the heart becomes so strong that I feel it straight away, and then I stop it. Or if I cannot stop it, I'm stopping after, and I'm like, I'm seeing myself from outside doing this, and feeling so strong that it's not right. And even if I cannot say it in the very moment, and I need to take a few breaths and go out and come back, I can feel it so strong in the heart. So even if I feel like it's not easy to straight away drop into the heart, and I can feel a reaction of my heart in every moment, what I'm doing, and this I'm very grateful for, and this is so supportive by the meditation of the heart center that we do in Hridaya, and that I'm practicing a lot, is very helpful. And just every time, again and again, trying to remember to come back to the heart, and really implementing this into daily life also, to in non-difficult situations, in easy situations where you're just happy and I'm in the heart. Remember to drop into the heart, so we can practice this so much so it becomes something so automatic, that it becomes a new pattern, let's say, to drop into the heart. And so then it will also happen in more difficult situations. This is why it is so important to not just do this in your formal practice, but in the informal practice. And definitely it becomes easier and easier, and actually very fast I feel that it happens automatically. So yeah, I hope I could answer this a little bit. Oh, my sister's sharing, feeling that I'm able to dream. Beautiful, yes. This is so beautiful to be able to dream. and living this dream as well. The spirals and spinning circles of existence embody ritual, ancient rebirth of the heart. I love Hridaya, blessed with a beautiful teacher near me. It is Matariki here in New Zealand. I think NZ means New Zealand. The moon is in Tangaroa, the time to celebrate and connect to the hearts of our ancestors and nature. Water cycles, breath cycles, food and growth. I love to deepen the knowledge of our indigenous ancestors, finding bonds in our ancestral path that we are both alone. This helps, heals me and others. Thank you so much for sharing this. Wow, this is so beautiful. I think I can actually say the names because we all see the chat anyhow. So Sonia, thank you so much. I get really goosebumps. This connection to indigenous tribes and knowledge and wisdom and rituals is something so profound because they lived still very, very connected to the nature and to the heart. Wow, thank you so much. Let's all just feel if there's a vibration in the heart, even if we are not together and if we're so far apart, wherever we are, feel that we are all one right now and our hearts are connected and there's this maybe big or small feeling of excitement and enthusiasm and how it vibrates in every heart. And how we can be connected even through a camera. Because the heart is always connected to our loved ones, to everything. So if there are no more questions or comments, we can slowly close this session. If you want, you can close your eyes and drop into the heart together to finish this session.